Okay, let's see. I should be live any second now. Live any second. I am live. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Stacey Storino. Welcome back to my channel. The number one place I really do feel for entrepreneurs who are interested in having their content marketing actually convert instead of just feeling like they're throwing spaghetti against the wall with their content marketing. And, they feel like it's just a bunch of busy work. Because if you're content marketing, hey, Denise, what's going on? Good to see ya. Denise at Devon Shea Creations is here. Good morning. Good morning. So my channel, whether it is YouTube shorts or longer form content or live/replays, it's all about content marketing for entrepreneurs. And yes, that includes influencers who want to make sure that people click on the links to buy their products, sign up for their services, get their merch, click on their affiliate links, whatever. I don't care if you're an influencer or not. You're still an entrepreneur. And anybody who's trying to coach you to somehow think you're a different thing altogether as an entrepreneur, you're a different flavor of ice cream, but you're all entrepreneurs with all different business models. So you're all ice cream. It's just a matter of different flavors. She goes, I made it to the live. I'm really glad that you made it to the live. That's really cool, Denise. I'm glad to see you here. I have students all over the world. I've been a coach, content marketing for conversions coach for 10 years, and an entrepreneur, including that decade, for 25 years. So I've been on both sides of the fence. I know what it's like to be out there like you guys. And then, of course, I have a coaching business. This is not one of those things that, like, if you can't do, you teach. I do both. I've worked with 2 7-figure success clients, one under an NDA, but the other one is Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill, and they have over 800,000 followers on TikTok alone. And on their Facebook page, where they don't pay to boost a post, they don't, do anything like that. They have like 12,000 plus people on their page and a very active page on Facebook. They have over 6,000 on Instagram, but they make about $1,000 a week, plus or minus, every single week, just from the DMs or the direct messages on Instagram alone. And of course, you can go to my website and you can go to the testimonials page, and it goes on for a couple of pages because I have dozens and dozens of testimonials from people I've worked with through the years, and I've gotten them to multiple 5, 6 figures, etc. Through what I teach. So what I teach does work. I'm not a paid ads coach. I will say that up front. It's all organic content marketing for conversions. I like paid ads for later when you're profitable and it's fiscally responsible for you to do it. Never pay to boost a post. If a post doesn't perform on its own, you need to look at the analytics. You need to understand why it might not be performing, look at it in a day, and then do a 1-week look back at it to give it a little time to kind of like cure or perform. And then you can start to see, once you're used to looking at analytics, why something isn't performing versus not. So we are on day 25 of 30 days of free coaching. So we go through the end of February 2023. Today we're talking about roadblocks. So what I just said is going to feed into the teachable moment for today. These things usually go on for about 15 minutes or so. If you have any questions, whether you're a paid student of mine or not, #live, #replay. I'm always interested in seeing who's showing up on the replay. Even if you don't have any questions, I really like to see it. If you have any questions about anything I talk about today, you are more than welcome to ask in the comment section down below. Also, before I forget, the March Popularity Plan, which is an assets pack to help solopreneurs and small businesses do the relationship marketing based content for all of March of 2023. I mean, you'll have your own sales based stuff and anything else you want to do. For, a very small price, you have 138 graphics, 15 March centered social media post templates via swipe files, and 4 March centric emails that are also swipe files, one assigned to every week in March. Because if you're not email marketing to your list at least once a week, you're going to get more unsubscribes as opposed to less. And you can go Google the stats as to why. Hey, Marcy, what's going on? She said, #live. I was just watching yesterday and had to run over here. Well, thank you for that. All right. So Marcy and Denise, if you want to, you guys can share how you're doing, because now we're on 25 days. We're on day 25 of 30 days of free coaching. And you guys, I know, have been keeping up with posting on the daily. So, what is the 30-day social media growth challenge? I do have a playlist in the show notes below. If you've missed any of the other coachings, you can catch up there. So it's towards the top of the description or the show notes below. So you can get the link for that. And it will have, once we're done, 30 days worth of replays where there's teaching every single day. And they kind of build on each other, to be fair, as well. So 30 days worth of free coaching sounds good, right? Free is always for me. You can also join our Facebook group, Content Marketing for Conversions. You can ask questions for there for free. And myself and other leaders in that group will definitely respond to you. There's also 2 freebies that you can get once you're in that group. Just tap or click on the Files tab at the top of the group feed, and you'll have 2 different PDFs that you can download that will help you with your content marketing. Oh, okay. Marcy. Sorry, didn't mean to shout. That's okay. She says, I'm getting so much more interaction on Instagram. I think the posts are not what Facebook wants, so I'm going to have to post differently for the 2 markets. Okay. We can talk about that because that can fall under the umbrella of, roadblocks. So here's the deal. So if you guys want the March popularity plan, by the way, the link is in both the show notes and the pin post for the live chat /replay. Because we're getting closer to March. And if you're like, oh my God, how am I going to cover my daily deliverable in March? At least for relationship marketing for the audience I already have to keep them engaged. And then also if I optimize these things well, I can get on the radar screen of more and more people, one post at a time. 138 graphics alone, 15 of them at least correspond with the 15 swipe files. I mean, come on, that's 15 posts that are pretty much done for you at that point. So that'll help you cover at least roughly half of next month's relationship-based content marketing. So we're talking about roadblocks today. So really quickly, with the 30-day free coachings, if you're in the running for prizes, you do want to join the Facebook group Content Marketing for Conversions. You can search on the post that talks about how to get a prize. Could you be eligible for a prize? Because once we get through day 30 in about 24 hours, I will, after that, I will announce in the Facebook group who won. The challenge is really asking you to post one piece of original content to 2 of the top social media platforms that are best for your niche. And then also you have to do a 1-day look back at your analytics. And if you were in the running for the prizes or you just want to be held accountable, because some people are like, I don't care if I get a prize, this accountability is good. You would go into the Content Marketing for Conversions Facebook group, and there's a post thread for every single day of the challenge. And you just post your screenshots for the top 2 social media platforms in your niche. Some people are sharing analytics from like 3 or 4 platforms. Knock yourself out. But don't knock yourself too out. So if you're like new to marketing, new to being an entrepreneur, both you're a solo practitioner or you're a solo entrepreneur, be gentle on yourself. One piece of original content posted to the top 2 social media platforms for your niche every single day of the challenge. There is not a person, and you can check in the Facebook group that I mentioned, there's not a person who hasn't found growth in their audience, growth in engagement, growth in views / watch time where applicable for the content. They haven't gotten, a lot of people are saying they're getting growth in terms of their email lists and or traffic to their website and or they're getting sales. Some people are discussing that openly in the group. And then some people are reaching out to me by email because they don't want to brag. Hey, I think it's good to be vulnerable and transparent. Women, especially older women, feel funny about talking about their sales. Meanwhile, a man would be like, hey, here's all the screenshots of all the moolah I made. Hey, Miss Ruth Dalga is here, #live. So when we're talking about roadblocks, one of the things that we could be talking about is we're looking in our analytics and we're noticing 1-day look backs are helpful. And then once you're doing you've got a week's worth of analytics that you're looking at, a 1-week look back is extremely helpful. You can note some things on the way. The other day I talked about one of my students, Nan Trombley, and she kind of did an A/B split test, and she knew that a piece of content while her audience wouldn't hate it, she had a feel, especially after a couple of weeks of looking at analytics and really paying attention. She's like, I have a sneaking suspicion this particular type of post isn't going to be a great performer. It's good for my audience. They won't hate it, but it won't be a great performer. Hey, Miss Lenore, what's going on? Lenore Love is here. Guys, by the way, give this video a big thumbs up for me, both live and on the replay. It helps to push this video out while I'm live to my other subscribers, and it also helps to push it out on the replay more as well. So it's less about making me feel awesome and more about pushing this video out to more people. So I always say it kind of makes me feel like you put a little tip in my tip jar. So I really, really appreciate that. I know you might be busy, but if you could just stop for a moment and give it a thumbs up, you'd make my day. Okay, so here's the thing. You could get a roadblock in that as you're looking at your analytics. There are pieces of content that, unlike Nance Trombley, you're like, I thought this one was going to go over great with my people, and then it didn't. Hey, Michelle, she's here from Infinity Paper, Michelle McLaughlin, #live. Hello, Miss Michelle. Could you give this video a big thumbs up? I really appreciate it. It helps to push it out to more people. Thanks. So here's the deal. When you look at your analytics, oh, she goes, I did. Though, thank you, Miss Michelle. I appreciate it. Lenore, Ruth, everybody else, please, big thumbs up. I really appreciate it. So here's the deal. Oh, I see them go up now. There's always a little bit of delay from when I speak to when things happen too. So thank you guys. I really appreciate it. So here's the thing. When you look at your analytics, sometimes you will get a surprise where you're like, I thought I had my finger on the pulse of what's going on, and then I had a piece of content that didn't really perform. You can get a fluke or a dud, so I wouldn't go too crazy. Lenora says I already did. Thank you. I wouldn't go too crazy or feel too bad if occasionally you get a piece of content where you're like kind of surprised. You should continue to every so often lob out another piece of content like the one that didn't perform, maybe different days, maybe different times of days, because that particular roadblock of a piece of content that doesn't work, it might have just been an off day. It might not have just hit right. It wasn't karma or kismet with your audience, your pre-existing audience, or whoever else knew you might be attracting to the top of your ADA funnel, right? So that's your marketing and sales funnel. Awareness, interest, decision, and action, right? So every time we post on the daily, especially if we optimize our content right for search by people who are disproportionately our ideal customer, we should be getting a lot more people aware of our brand, right? And so if you've been posting like maybe once a week, or maybe you were just very sloppy jalopy and laissez-faire about posting content, guess what? If you post for 30 days straight, you're probably going to see a whole lot more in terms of, activity digitally online for your business. It's next to impossible for that not to happen. Okay. So that's why I'm saying if you have more time than you have money, you really want more people to become aware of your brand, you do have to post more. And I said this yesterday, I'm going to repeat it here. When you get a coach on YouTube or elsewhere that tells you don't have to post more than 2-3 times a week, I'm going to, and they use the clickbaity title, I'm going to post less and make more money. They're lying, because they're posting every single day that I notice on Shorts, on TikTok, on Instagram, Facebook, or at least some of those things, right? So please don't, listen to anybody that tells you that posting less, especially when you're not a bigger business, is going to be beneficial to you. I know it's going to be a lot of hustle because you've got a busy personal and or professional life, but let's face it, if your business isn't bringing in like, $10,000 or more a month, how busy is that business, right? So you do have some extra time to hustle up when you're a beginner. A couple days ago, we talked about beginner, intermediate, and advanced, right? So if you're a beginner or beginner pushing into intermediate, you're going to have to do all the hustling yourself. Once you're into intermediate, you do have some extra profit to invest in all sorts of things, including but not limited to independent contractors, part-time to full-time employees, right? So if that's a roadblock too, where you're like, okay, posting every single day, I am having a hard time, especially if I've kind of kept up with this challenge, I'm having a hard time not seeing performance, right? Not seeing a huge uptick, especially after a week to 2 weeks, let alone now we're 3 weeks into this plus. It's hard not to see everything go up and up and up on a pretty steady curve. And again, everybody, and that includes me, you're going to have content that occasionally is going to be a dud because that's just statistically speaking what's going to happen. But if you find that to be a roadblock and you look at your analytics and you occasionally will double, triple test that over the course of the rest of the month, content that's similar to that, it still doesn't perform. Okay, now you know it's not just like a statistical anomaly or just a dud. It just didn't hit that one day. But you can't just, I guess my point there when you have a roadblock is, number one, when you look at your analytics and you get really used to looking at it, you'll start to understand more the picture that plays out for you. Number two, just because something doesn't really perform as well as you thought it was going to or whatever, still give it a little bit of breathing room. See if over the course of a week it doesn't pick up or get picked up by the algorithm, regardless of what platform you're on. And then you can and should kind of just test it again in the future, because again, you don't know, is that a true dud or not? If you have the roadblock of, I can't cover the daily deliverable outside of the challenge or going into March, what am I going to do? If you can invest, whether it's an independent contractor, whether it's a part-time to full-time employee, whether it's in something like the popularity plan for March of 2023, it's pinned in the live chat / replay of the chat. It's in the show notes down below. For the price of like a decent lunch, you've got hundreds of pieces of content to help you for March 2023. You need to invest one way or another when you can, as you can, because the busier your business gets, something's got to give, right? And talk to your CPA, tax expert, or tax barrister, because you might be able to write off things like the popularity plan or pieces of software that you invest in. And then, of course, there's the free stuff like the Meta Business Suite to help you cover Facebook and Instagram. Now, I do want to get to the comment about that Marcy left that says the posts on Instagram versus a post on Facebook. She's saying, I don't think the posts are what Facebook wants, but I'm definitely getting good traction on Insta. I want to put a pin in that and come back to it. Ruth says, what about if a certain post does well, but then doesn't really lead to a sale or link clicks? Example, my videos of what's happening in our town, where to eat, and quick product plug in the mix. Keep doing it. I see it as relationship marketing, which hopefully leads to traffic in store when they come to those things. Let me deal with Ruth and then I'll jump back to Marcy. So you have a brick and mortar business, and my first 7-figure success client, Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill, they have a brick and mortar business too. Occasionally we will talk about different businesses or different vendors that we use in our neighborhood or regionally. And people do like that because it's good synergy. When you are getting, I'm sure you're set up to do sales online too, or through social in the inbox or via email. That's kind of part of being omnipresent. And that's one of the replays in the playlist that's in the show notes down below too. So if you missed that day or any of the other days, make sure you go back and watch that, folks. Whether you're watching live or on the replay, thanks for being here. But yes, Ruth, especially when you're a brick and mortar, it's important to do some relationship marketing that has to do with what's in your neighborhood, what's on your block, what's in your municipality. It could even be, depending upon the circumstances, what's in your region, especially if you're getting suppliers and or you're taking wholesale orders from and then reselling it at retail in your shop. It's important for people to know that you are a great brand leader and that you are all about synergy. In fact, you could do collaborations or collabs with business owners where you're getting either component parts for stuff that you make for sale at your business, and or folks that provide you with wholesale supplies, because you want to get out in front of their audience and their email list and vice versa, right? So that's always a good thing. Ruth says, yes, Facebook and Insta are connected to my online store. Okay, good. So that's great. So I would still do those things. Maybe you're not getting any link clicks on things like that. I would keep doing them, because I think even if you're just doing like 1 or 2 of those a week, because it's really good, it's just good straight up relationship marketing and it's a value add to them. I think when you're doing something for like a week to 2 weeks, you still want to give it a try and keep it rolling, because I think just the know, like, and trust factors, the deposits into what I call the bank of KLT. Oh, one a week, Ruth? Yeah, I would keep doing one a week. I think that that's good as a value add, and at least you have a call to action for somebody to buy something that's related to what you're discussing and or what's depicted or shown in the graphic or the photo or the video snippet, right? So I think it's still good to do that one a week. So what have you done? 2 or 3 of those? I would keep doing that because I think it's just good for a KLT deposit into the bank anyway with your audience. I do want you guys to think too, while I've talked about some people who within a week of the challenge were getting sales that they knew they could track or trace from challenge-based activity, I do want you to know, and then there were other people that since are like, definitely this is helping. If you feel like there's a roadblock because you're not getting sales, okay, you're getting more activity, you're getting more followers or subscribers, maybe you're getting more people on the email list, but where's the sales for me? I would say it depends on how long you've had a presence online. It depends on how much content is in your social feeds. Had there not been much, had you been stale for a long period of time, like you need some people from the outside looking in. I don't buy from anybody until I've hung out with them for a while. I've gotten several emails from them. I can see that they're not a hobbyist. I can see that they're more of a business or that they take their business seriously. That it isn't just I opted in for something, I got the coupon or whatever, and then, I hear nothing or just once in a blue. That's not a confidence builder for me. Now, granted, I'm a coach. I do this stuff for a living and I coach this stuff for a living. But I think a lot of people, whether they look at it exactly the same way as I do or not, they might just need a while to hang out with you to make sure you're not a fly by night or you're not a hobbyist. They need to kind of hang out with you to just, some people need more deposits in the bank of KLT than others. So, you do have to keep that in mind too. This isn't a sprint, it's a marathon. And this is something that even when you lean into paid ad strategies later, there should be paid traffic, but there should always be organic traffic, right? So let me go back to Marcy and so Denise says the whole experience has opened my eyes to a lot of things, different ideal customer, different social media targets, and I'm getting lots of views, but no sales. Ruth said she had a super sale before the challenge. We're getting a lot of clicks and traffic. It's just that the highest performing posts and visibility don't equal immediate sales. I think, thanks, that helps. And that can be like good to get people into the funnel. And I would continue to do that to get brand awareness. And so that people do see that you're a local, municipal, and regional leader, especially when you have a brick and mortar. It will keep you top of mind with people. It will. So another roadblock is, because I see one from Marcy and I kind of see one from Denise from a previous post that she put. And I will say something in the Facebook group about it because it's such a good question. But Marcy says she thinks Facebook wants one thing and Instagram wants another. I don't think that's true. I don't think that's the right way to look at it. I do think it's quite possible that when you cross post to both, stuff's going to perform better on one platform or another, or some things will perform better here, but the other things will perform better there. That's not unusual at all. It's not necessarily what the algorithms want, because I can tell you, because I study this and industry stuff that I study on and read up on and everything. Meta owns Facebook and Instagram, right? That's how you get the interconnected Meta Business Suite. They both want the same thing. They want their short form vertical video content to, they want to reward creators who do them. And they know that that's how they could stay competitive and fresh with TikTok. And YouTube, they're up to like 1 billion plus shorts views a month, already. So, YouTube and Google are owned by the same parent company called Alphabet. So you have Alphabet and Meta, they're going head to head. And up the middle is the big winner still currently, which is TikTok. So Facebook and Instagram via Meta, their owner, wants the same thing. They do want you to not only continue to post there, they don't want to suffer MySpace disease and become irrelevant. they also want to stay competitive in terms of the content that's really performing right now. Oh God, I forget who I heard this from, but I want to say that 90% of the content that millennials and younger are consuming right now either is completely or is definitely part of the mix. 90% of what they watch includes short form video content, or I forget, I don't want to tell tales out of school, but it's either in the mix or it is what they really lean towards 9 times out of 10, because people's attention spans are just smaller. If they become aware of your business because of the short form video content, they get more interested, so they're more likely to follow or subscribe, whatever the platform parlance is, then they're more likely to over time. And some people, this takes time. They like you enough, you stay top of mind with them enough, they're going to get on your email list to grab your freebie, and then they're going to get to the bottom of the funnel and they're going to make purchases. So I think that Facebook is a much, well, not much, but a somewhat older audience than Instagram. So if you're doing short form vertical video content, it's going to perform better on Instagram than Facebook. But it's not that Facebook doesn't want it. I don't know that you have to post entirely differently for the two markets. My personal feeling is you're going to be more likely to get sales. I am painting with a broad brushstroke in terms of industry statistics, but you're more likely to get sales through Instagram, through the DMs and Instagram anyway, than through Messenger on Facebook. That said, Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill gets about the same amount of traffic through the inboxes of both. But again, they're edible food products and maybe not non-edible food products or services or whatever. But I would just keep cross-posting through the Meta Business Suite, and I would focus on putting out a blend of content. So I would definitely put up a short form vertical video piece of content as both a Facebook reel and an Instagram reel using MBS or the Meta Business Suite, and pushing out through there once a day. And then especially if you have something like the popularity plan, you can put out graphics or photos or things like that and do that once a day and kind of like have a mix of stuff that's available in your social feeds. People do still like variety. It's just the hot new kid is still short form vertical video content. So I don't know that you would post differently. And I would still just cover both bases. It doesn't hurt. Where are you getting more sales, Marcy, if you're still with us? And you're saying you're going to post differently for the two markets. Are you talking about the two different platforms? Or are you saying that you have two ideal customers? Because that's something that could be a roadblock too. Until your business gets to up around 7 figures, I really want you guys focusing on one ideal customer. All may buy and all are welcome. But when you create your content, and this is something that Funnel Dynasty concentrates on once we get you past module 1, 2 with all the basic and intermediate stuff. And I'm going to put the link to it. It's in the show notes down below too. Funnel Dynasty, all one word.com. 24 bonuses, one-on group coaching most every week of the year, and a 7-module course to make sure soup to nuts you understand how marketing works, especially through social media and content marketing. Module 7's analytics, but we start you with making sure you have one ideal customer. You understand the demographics and the psychographics of that. I have several different formulas or formulae you need to be able to concretely fill out, because that's going to be the lens through which you shoot or create every piece of copy, every piece of content, whether it's video or not, because it really has to be disproportionately for that one person. So if you are trying as beginner or intermediate, at the very least, to reach multiple ideal customers, and you're not getting many or any sales, I'm not shocked, because your stuff is too general, too generic, too broad brushstroke. Okay. Like it's too much. And it could even be the products or the offerings that you're creating are too broad, let alone the product descriptions are too broad, let alone the relationship marketing content that you're creating, besides like a piece of breadcrumb content to keep your ideal customers that you do have following you engaged, so that you do keep your brand-based community well fed and active. And then, you might be able to grab other people through it. I'm just thinking, you can't have multiple ideal customers. I don't even want you thinking about that. If you're like 6 figures going into multiple 6 figures and you're like, I don't care, Stacey, I want to do it, I'm less concerned about you. At least you're making 6 figures a year. La, 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 la. So Ruth said she was super stale before the challenge, and the challenge is waking everything up. Okay. Lenore says, do you have a video about content for TikTok? I may have to give up on Facebook despite thousands of followers, but I can't log in anywhere but my phone. Are you saying you can't get into Facebook at all? Oh my gosh. Marcy says, I'm a bad short form video, so most of my posts are not that. I've incorporated video into my Herb of the Week post. Okay. It's going to be harder for you to grow if you don't. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's going to be harder for you to get more awareness into the top of your marketing and sales funnel if you don't lean into short form vertical video content through shorts, and you can repost to TikTok, and you can repost to Facebook and Instagram and cover 4 bases, which is super easy to do. It's just an extra couple minutes. Okay. So if, you have more time than you have money, covering the 4 bases wouldn't hurt you, because you could do 2 for the price of 1 under the Meta Business Suite. I have entire playlists, Lenore, on my channel about content for TikTok and entrepreneurs and businesses and adults creating content for TikTok that have nothing to do with challenges, nothing to do with trend jacking. It can be fun to trend jack, and it will work nicely on TikTok, but you guys are looking for millennial and older typically to sell to. So you want to leverage search through your keywords and your hashtags on that platform, just like any other platform. So I do have like entire playlists that will help you with that. Marcy says, okay, she's bad with the short form vertical video content. All right, Marcy, if you're happy with the traction that you're getting, that's great. If you want more, girl, I have facial palsy and I'm in my 50s. Okay. And I'm not the thinnest, most youngest, most nubile thing around. If I'm hustling my proverbial bustle and I'm doing that stuff and I find that it works because I've got a 6-figure business, do me a favor. Get over it. You don't have facial palsy like me. It is so much easier for you, even if you're in your 70s and you don't have facial palsy. So please, I'm saying this with love. I'm not the kind of coach that's going to sit there and digitally spoon you. You want results? I'm going to tell you the truth. I really am. Marcy says, I have 2 ideal customers. Those on Facebook are in their older 50s. So you've got Gen Xers into young baby boomers, and those on Insta are in their 30s. Denise says Facebook has become a place that she doesn't have much traffic from. Well, you know what? Looking at all the analytics, now you know. Now you know. Because sure, there's some things that externally you can see and you can draw conclusions that way. But once you start looking at Meta Business Suite analytics, you start seeing, like, if you put up a video and it's got like very disappointing views on it and such, and on Facebook, but it's performing a bit better on Insta, again, I don't think it hurts to just cross post in both places, because hey, you never know. But, on Instagram, if Instagram's more of your focus, and for a lot of folks, it is. Insta, you do tend to sell better than on Facebook or practically anywhere else. I think even better than Pinterest, although Pinterest, you can sell really well there too. Then you want to make sure also that you're doing Instagram story content, at least 1 piece a day. Okay, if you're like, Insta's going to be my new baby, then 2 things. You need a piece of Instagram story content today to keep your current community well fed. You can use hashtags on them. There's a way to hide hashtags on them. I do have a course, Social Gram Shortcut. I did update it a couple of months ago. It is still very up to date. So if you don't understand how to do these things or how to optimize stuff so that your current audience can see it, and there's still a possibility that you could have some discoverability through stories, then that's something else you could consider. But I would have a piece of Instagram story content today, a reel every day, and then a piece of what, especially if you're leveraging the popularity plan, a piece of non-video content a day. Carousels are still performing very well on Instagram as well. Lenora says she can't get in, only on her phone. She's tried multiple computers. I just, wow, that is so weird. Ruth says to Lenora, can you change your Facebook password on your phone and then try on a computer? Lenora said, I did that and it didn't work. I've been trying for over 2 weeks, beyond frustrating. Marcy says, it's not about a fear. It is skill at editing. And Denise said, Facebook kind of pushed me towards having a shop on my page. I think it hurt my traffic, so I'm going to switch it back. I am not. I'm glad you brought that up, because I'm just going to say this. That can be a different kind of roadblock. And I've said this from the beginning. So anybody who's attended any and all of my lives, you know I've said this before. I am not speaking with forked tongue. I was never excited about these things. And I told you guys, at least some of the people who've been like OGs with me, why. And anybody who didn't listen to me, almost always, they're sorry that they didn't. I don't like shops on Insta and Facebook or elsewhere. I can see how it helps the platforms because it keeps people on the platform more. And, you know, do they get a cut or do they not? But they also get to keep the contact information from the people. You're only allowed, and it's the same on Etsy or anywhere else too. Udemy for my coaches, please don't go on Udemy. You are just slumming if you do that or something like that. Good God. But they get to keep the information. You can only do transactional emails to these people, but you can't actively market to them. And that kills it because the first sale is the hardest to get. The easiest sales after that are the second and third sales. That's how you get your repeat customers. Yes, you always need new sales and new fresh blood on your email list. And you always want to feed more people into the top of your marketing and sales funnel, always. But it's hard to scale to 6 figures and higher if you don't have at least a third of your customers coming back a second and third time per year, you know, let alone at all. So when you have a shop on these places, Facebook, Insta, whatever, I'm not surprised it hurts your traffic, and I'm not surprised that it hurts your ability to continue to sell to them. You know, they're keeping that information. It's not yours. You should always want to get people on your email list. Your email list and your website is the only land you own when it comes to online as a business owner, even if you don't have a brick and mortar. Your email list is gold. You should be getting 3/4 of your sales approximately from your email list, and then 25% from like website SEO and social media content marketing. So that's something else for Ruth to consider. Are some of your calls to action at least once or twice a week? Like click on the link in bio to get a coupon good for 20% off your next sale. Click the link in bio if you're a coach, course creator, or service for a free consultation, a 15-minute free work session, a free video, a free checklist, downloadable, whatever. I'm growing my email list nice since the beginning of 2023 with my new opt-in. Right? So like people, if they're not opting onto your email list and you don't see growth on your email list every single week, even if at the beginning you're small, you're following small. So you'll be like, okay, 1 or 2 subscribers a week. Is that good? Yes, because it's better than nothing. And as you get bigger, everything else slowly but surely will start to climb up the mountain with you, right? But if you're not growing your email list every week, I guarantee you your opt-in isn't attractive enough. Please don't offer somebody 5, 10, 15% off. Go Google why those percentages don't work for email opt-ins. This is not the gospel according to Stacey Storino. Marcy says, I can't really figure out how to use the shop on Facebook anyway. It's all beneficial for them. It does not help you at all. I promise you it doesn't. Joe's doesn't have a shop on Facebook. We get people ordering cakes, pies, stuff from our designer dessert department. They order pints and quarts for pickup. That's how we get to like $1,000 plus or minus every week through Facebook Messenger. You really think we care to have a Facebook shop? Why? We don't need it. That's the thing. You don't want to need any particular platform. They're only worried about themselves. They're not really worried about you. Not so much. Okay, they're worried about keeping you around because they don't want to suffer MySpace disease, right? But beyond that, you're just cattle to them. They don't care. And if they want to dumb down your reach or they want to penalize you for not using Reels, at least Instagram recently said, okay, your picture and graphic posts, we were not dumbing down the reach. We weren't giving them any major push. We were putting all the push behind Reels. Last week to 2 weeks, Adam Mosseri came out and said, all right, now the other things will get some push too. I always said you wanted to produce like a variety of content so that your feeds are just chock-a-block resources for your ideal customer, having to do with that main pain point, that main passion point they have. Your business, of course, you're also going to put out your sale announcements and your product listings or whatever. You're a coach, enrollment open, enrollment closes, right? All those kind of things. But you really need to get people off those platforms and onto your email list. So if you don't have one, or you're like, no one ever opts into my email list, number one on that roadblock is, are you putting out 1 to 2 calls to action a week through your content? It shouldn't always be buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff. A lot of it should be because you're a business, that's what you need to do. But there should also be a healthy amount of follow or subscribe if you haven't already, because I'm a resource about that pain point and solving it, or that passion point, right? And there should be some calls to action that say, get on the email list to get this freebie. It will help you solve your problem, satisfy your desire. Does this make sense? Ruth says, I need to up my email game for sure. Yeah, Ruth, as you might have remembered, I think yesterday I said how my father-in-law did not want an email list for Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill, who needs more email. Nobody wants to read all their email. We're just going to annoy people if we email them weekly. We email them daily or near daily. We are a 7-figure business. And that is one of the things that catapulted us from 350,000 or so and barely profitable to over $1 million in 2 years. And it was a steep jump up each year. Yes, the content marketing helped. It got a lot more awareness about our business. People got into our marketing and sales funnel. But very quickly, it's all about lead capture, lead capture, lead capture. Okay? Because again, I don't want content marketing to be busy work for you guys, okay? Because awareness is great and goodwill is great, like I talked to Ruth about a little bit earlier. These are important things. If people don't know, like, and trust you, they're not going to buy from you. They'll just default and go to a big box store, or they'll just default and go to a legacy brand that, doesn't have to worry about optimizing their posts. Everyone's looking for them anyway. Lenora says, I'm going to Google how far Joe's is from Wayne and Ramapo. Oh, you're in Rockland. I have a hungry hockey kid tomorrow. I'll be the weirdo with my notebook, phone, and laptop, and a very smelly teenager. They all smell, man. I can never get mine to shower. Well, I lie. He showers pretty decently. It's brushing the teeth I still have to chase him around for. Yeah, we'll be open for business. You really need to come during summer, because we're mobbed. We're mobbed a lot of spring, all of summer, and we have tour buses and camp buses that come, and we have house accounts with camps, with certain businesses that'll pick up milkshakes and or lunch for their staff once a week. It's ridiculous. We are definitely a 7-figure business. We've outgrown that building. We bought property. We're getting blueprints done. 3 blocks away, we're going to move. Okay, because we just can't run $1 million business and scale it any higher in less than 800 square feet worth of space. So that'd be cool when you come up, Lenore. Denise says, you asked me about my calls to action and I haven't responded because I don't know where I saw it. So my answer is I'm confused about when to sell and when to ask for emails, etc. Lenore says, nice, our town has the house accounts, etc. That's great. Yep. All right, Denise, what I'm going to say is there's no perfect answer to this. I will say that every piece of content that you put out ideally should have a call to action to it. So when you're running a sale, the call to action is very obvious. And I said that every business owner, no matter what business model you have, you should have 2 sales or if you're an influencer, 2 income producing events a month at a minimum, because when it's once a month or maybe you skip a month, you come across as a hobbyist, right? What are you, a trust fund kid? That's weird. You're not training your audience up to expect to have an offer made to them. And that kind of subconsciously can work weird with some people. So, like, obviously, if you're going to have if you're an influencer, you're asking people to click on an affiliate link. If you have a sponsorship deal, you're asking them to visit the website or click on the link for the sponsorship. For everybody else, whether your product, services, whatever, you should be having 2 sales a month at a minimum. If you are not having 2 sales a month, you need to go to, and you're like, oh, I don't know how to plan it all out, because planning out your content will also help you to plan out your calls to action. So it's on my channel, but let me go find the full-blown video. Okay, plan out your March content marketing this way. If you didn't see that video, Denise and anybody else, plan out your March content this way, or content marketing this way. Okay, I'm going to put the link here, and I'm also going to add it to the show notes once I sign out of this and put it into replay mode. But there is a video on my channel that I put out like a week or so ago, and I show you the 5 different calendar passes that I go through. I don't care if you use paper, electronic, whatever you do. And I show you the 5 different levels for the month of March that I go through as I go through my personal life, my professional life, my sales, my relationship marketing content. And I plug all that in for the month of March in this example. And then I'm like, okay, so I have my sales planned out, a minimum of 2, up to 4 a month. I like to have something going on every week if I can, right? And then the relationship marketing stuff, that stuff can be calls to action where you just mix it up after you do those calendar passes. You say to yourself, okay, at least some of this should be calls to action saying follow, subscribe. And why? You don't just say follow or subscribe. That's like get on my email list for my weekly newsletter. What is this, 1995? Nobody needs busy work, but they'll get on your newsletter for discounts. They'll get on for freebies. They'll get on for, advance notice about things. They'll get on for that stuff. Intrigues people who like to shop, like to talk shop about whatever, and they want the inside scoop. 60% of people will get on an email list because they want the coupons, the sales, the advance information. So if no one's getting on your email list, have you even asked? I wouldn't let a week go by where I don't have a call to action to get on my email list. I wouldn't have a live stream or a replay where I'm not trying to either get a sale, or if I'm not getting a sale, hey, join my email list. Hey, you guys, if you're not on my email list already, here, go to don'tbeafakeguru.com and get, I was pitching for the March popularity plan because March is days away. Do you have your content marketing ready? Because if you think you're going to rocket through the month of March and cover your daily base, good luck to you, because most people won't, and that's just the reality. You're too busy personally, you're too busy professionally, you're dealing with illness, you're dealing with someone else's illness. Come on. But if I didn't have a sales-based call to action, I would say, get on my email list if you're not already. If you're on, you don't need to get on again. But I'm saying, that has a freebie for you to opt into. Boom. It'll help you with your content marketing. If you're watching my stuff and you don't want help with your content marketing, why are you here? Right? So I've grown my email list to thousands upon thousands of people just organically because I put out the freebie content. And a lot of people will be like, oh, cool, bye. And they see the video. If you don't have a call to action to say subscribe or follow, at least some of the time, and or get on my email list, because I've got something that'll benefit you that has everything to do with why you're here, right? And yes, physical, tangible, products-based businesses, a coupon is a good thing. But like I said, is your coupon for 20% off or higher? Because if it's anything less, you need to jack your prices to protect your profit margins, because most people won't get on your email list just because, or to get your newsletters, not 1995. They're not going to get on your email list if it's not worth it to them. So if you're not growing your email list every single week, even if it's just because you're a little baby business, a couple people every week, then what are you doing? Something isn't translating. You're not offering them something tantalizing enough and or useful enough. So it's not like it's a certain amount every month must be mechanically bright line, but definitely every piece of content you have should have a call to action. Even with the shorts that I publish, right now shorts viewers on YouTube aren't loving like clicking on and grabbing like, to get on your email list or to buy from you. Not right now. It's too new. It's too exciting. They just want more content. So my call to action every single time with a YouTube short is go watch the full video that I pulled this tip out of. Or here's a related video that'll help you even more. My back catalog is going up with me doing that. Always a call to action. Otherwise, what's the point of posting the content? Sometimes your call to action can be like with the popularity plan, let me know down below, do you have plans for this holiday? What's your favorite version of this? To get people to engage with you that way. The people who engage with you that way, they're either current audience members of yours and they're happy that you even care about their opinion. Here goes another deposit into the bank of no like and trust. And or if they're new to you, they're going to be like, they even care what I think. And even whether they comment or not, they're going to be more likely to follow you if they didn't, jump on your email list if they didn't. Ruth says, should I be disconnecting my shop? My WooCommerce shop is connected so I can tag products, but they have to go to my website to buy. Is that bad? Are you getting sales from it, Ruth? Because if you're getting sales from it with that kind of configuration, fine. If it ain't broke, don't fix. You're not getting any sales, I don't see how it benefits you to stay connected. I don't have any problem selling through Facebook, Insta, or anywhere else. Joe's doesn't have any problem selling Facebook, Insta, anywhere else. Anybody who's got a testimonial on my website, by and large, does not have a problem. And I'm telling you, I do not think a single one of my testimonials on my website has a shop connected. Not one. Yes, sales happen, and keep it. Lenore says, Denise, you aren't alone. Denise says, man, I have a lot of work to do. Hey, it's my job to help you out. All right. So I'd love to see you guys. I know I have a couple more days and then I'll be announcing a winner. One lucky winner is going to get, free entry into Funnel Dynasty. And then I might have a runner up that'll give like a littler prize too. And then, I don't plan on doing another challenge like this. It's a big time commitment. Maybe the second half of the year, maybe. I've got stuff heating up in the background for Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill. We're going for an SBA loan, and that's a ton of work. And then plus my own stuff that I do on the back end. So I will say this. For the foreseeable future, this is it for this challenge. So if you don't win the prize and you want help from me spotlighting your business, one-on group, most every week of the year, you do want to take a good look at Funnel Dynasty. We do have a payment plan, 7 modules, 24 bonuses, including the one-on-group coaching. And there is a lot of work. There's a lot of things to actually do where you have content marketing that converts. Again, you want to focus on Instagram-based content marketing and how to optimize properly. I have playlists for that. An Instagram SEO playlist, Instagram content marketing for adults and or actual business owners. Yep. And the same thing, I have TikTok as well. So the March planning video has helped me a lot. Ruth said, thank you. Denise, have you seen that video? Because again, once you plotted out what's sales versus what's relationship marketing, then you go, okay, what's relationship marketing? Some calls to action have to be for get on my email list. Some calls to action have to be follow. Some calls to action, especially the popularity plan, will help you with that. At least engage, play around with me. I want to get to know you better, right? Because those will be the people who are more willing to hold up their hands and buy from you when they're ready, willing, and able to. Denise says, yes, I sure have. And I have the popularity plan. Then you know what to do, girl. Do those 5 calendar passes, plug in all of your stuff, plug in your stuff through the Meta Business Suite. You may as well cover Facebook and Instagram. Who cares, right? If one lights up more than the other. It's really no extra work if you're using the MBS. So I'm always like, just take the bonus round just in case, right? And then just mix up your calls to action. All right, so I'm going to talk to you guys later. Oh, make sure you also watch my Mr. Beast video. My Mr. Beast video that I put out. Because I literally, you're a products-based business. I don't care if you're edible products or not. Mr. Beast did a content marketing bonanza over the course of a week that he warmed up that proverbial pizza oven that I'm always talking about. If you try to jump in and parachute in ice cold and sell, that doesn't tend to work so well. You might get sales, but I'm almost guaranteeing you'd get more sales if you really teased the intrigue and did the like really 4 or 5 things that he did before, during, and after his product dropped. Okay. He really sold super, super well. Not just because he's Mr. Beast, he was very strategic about what he did, and he did not go crazy with paid ads, and he even turned down the opportunity to have a Super Bowl ad for it. He's like, $7 million. I'm just not doing it. I don't have to. So watch the Mr. Beast video that is called Mr. Beast These Nuts Feastable Product Launch Series. You will get 5 steps that will help you with your next product launch. She said, I saw Mr. Beast. And Ruth said, I assign themes and styles to every day of the week. I haven't been able to schedule more than a few days ahead on my meta scheduler, but I'm working ahead on creating content. That's definitely going to help you, Miss Ruth. All right. Oh my God, I've gone for almost an hour. I hope it's fine with you guys that I over-delivered. I will talk to you guys later. Bye.